Side, yes, Mickey, with less than a 16th to go. What the Hill, a short lead. Lindy the Great to the inside. Yes, Mickey, coming to the wire. It's What the Hill and David Miller winning the
pocket sitter. Turned first over attacker, What the Hill. And behind them, Dover Dan from in third. International Money still got work to do. They're in deep stretch, and here comes What the Hill and Miller on the outside. What the Hill converting off the pocket trip to win the Canadian Trotting Classic. He won it by 3 going away. It's What the Hill.
Third, 3/4, 124 and 2 into the stretch. Looks like Chippendale appears to be on the verge. Crazy Wow trying to fend him off. Room at the rail for What the Hill. He's raging late. And in heavy traffic is Pinkman on the far outside. Dayson trying to close in. But off the rail comes What the Hill, the 3-year-old. What the Hill to seal his division. What the Hill. Then Dayson. And then it was Pinkman third and Mambo Lindy fourth. What the Hill in.
Right, welcome everybody. Anyone had seen what I just did then, they would have said he's as unorganised as ever. But I haven't done it. Just check the audio. I don't check it when they're playing, so I'll just check it through here. No, we've got everything to go. Welcome back to Talking Trotters. Talking Trotters for What the Hill and Woodlands Stud, and I thank them hugely for their continued support. As I said, What the Hill is standing at Woodlands Stud for the fee of $7,000. He's had 12 wins and 8 placings, $1.3 million in hand. He's 15-3 or 16-1 hand high horse. And we actually have a little baby of his out the back. Make sure you get in touch with the guys at woodlandstud.co.nz for not only What the Hill and Speeding Spur, the two trotters, but the entire Stallion roster, Mark Hughes and everyone else involved. And it's always great. I always appreciate their support and their sponsorship and getting behind me. Had a couple of winners this week. One in New Zealand. This is Regal Girl winning for Tony Hurley. You can actually see just there at the minute he's actually running 6, just coming out 3 wide, just getting 4 wide. Slowly run race this, but they get home in 29.6. This filly had no right to get over the top of the Nicky Chilcott trained horse in front. Really finds the line terrific. Actually, the 2 fillies we're going to highlight tonight, they both know where the winning post is, that's for sure. This filly just gets there right in the last stride. Regal Girl for Tony Hurley brings up win number 2 from 10 starts, and I don't think that's going to be its last win, that horse, because it knows exactly where the finishing post is and knows how to get there every time. It's My Hill, another horse by What the Hill, sitting second at the minute for Yannick Gringas. Just about to come out. This horse trots 55-1, but just watch the ease. Actually, Grant was here. We're doing a bit of video editing just a bit earlier, and Grant said just like the action there's not a lot of leg action, just flicks over the ground and gets the job done, and just a really, really nice, smooth looking trotter. So very, very impressive win this. And as I said, 155-1. This horse actually rated just then. Going forward, the times you get sent some things. Don't forget, get involved in the show. As always, all your comments will be up there. It is Super Series time. The Vicbred Super Series. It's been a great carnival. It's really been terrific. I love it. The depth. There's what is it going to be? 12 races Saturday night going round. So 6 for the trotters and whatever that works out, 6 for the pacers. No, it can't be 6 for the trotters. 4-year-old, yeah, there is 6 and 6. Of course there is. It's not that hard to work out actually when you think about it. But 6 and 6 going around. Been some great results with the trotters. Chris Finozio had a huge night the other night at Bendigo. I did do an interview with Chris during the week, so if you wanted to go back and find that on Campbell's comments, you'll be able to see that interview as well. But if you've got a trotter involved in the series and you want to get out there and promote it, here's your chance. Don't miss. There's been some good results. I was going through the ones at Maryborough last week, and there's quite a few people going to have some nice horses going around, and they're going to be a really live chance at $100,000 in a Group 1 first prize. I actually saw John Curtin yesterday at Kath McIntosh's Stallion Parade, and he was amazed at the money for trotters. He said that's just enormous, and I think sometimes we take it for granted, but the Vicbred is so good. Not only that, But of course, with the Vicbred, we also get the opportunity to win our first win bonus going along, and the Trotters are the way to go. They're actually the Harasta Trotters Vicbred finals, another of my sponsors, and we won't forget them. And I was going to do some homework. They've got a huge amount of horses already invested into the finals. Go back. Who's this? Okay. Sorry, just had a little bit of mouse troubles. I'll just go back to Bendigo, and I'll actually do this. Anthony Fanning, hello to you. Got to go to that one. And we'll just go through the Bendigo ones there. Aurora Coe, of course, bred by Harasta Trotters, beat Royal Dan, Sir Eros, Kai Valley Piero, and Gaelic Lad. Now, yeah, that was a 4-year-old trotting colts and gelding. So the top 6 got through there. So Eddie Tapp has got in there, $126 for the heats, and he's made his way into the final. Of course, Eric Hendricks, hello to you, Eric. Did have a throw Eric under the bus. They had a Pastor Stephen Stallion tender at Bendigo, and I'm not sure if it was taken off or not. So Jared Maloney is on as well, Swan Hill Stallion tender. So Eric, maybe flick me through a message one way or the other, mate, and we can go from there. RC Phoenix for Chris Finozio, and the Hayneses beat Kiang Chucky, Sebastian's Boy, More Wanted, Courage Stride, and we qualified with our 100-to-1 pop winner, EB Max. So we're going around in a Group 1 final as well, so we're pretty happy with that, to be honest. It's pretty exciting times when you can get them going in there. Eric has said that the Bendigo Stallion tender is still open, so go to the Bendigo Harness Racing Facebook page, and you will be able to follow all the links, and you'll be able to get involved there with that. So it is still up there. So it's a Stallion tender to Pastor Stephen. Also have Ride High. They also actually, for the trotting people, they also have one with Duncan McPherson and at Aldebaran Park, where you can get the $2,000 at a discounted rate. It's pretty amazing, actually. So you can get $2,000 potentially at $1,400. I'm presuming they're all still open, but definitely the Pastor Stephen from Lower Long Farms is available. And Jared, I will get onto the Swan Hill one very shortly. The used to me at Harasta Trotters Vicbred for the 4-year-olds, Queen of Quebec for Chris Finozio. It was his 3rd winner in a row. He ended up with 4. Of course, this was bred by Harasta Trotters, who are the sponsors of the race, beating the Anton Galino. The horses, the 2 running 2nd and 3rd in Gardena, Ronda and Revelstoke. Bit of Irish luck in 4th. Now, those horses would qualify because there was actually 3 of these, so it would be the top 4, I would imagine, that qualify. Darren Garrard, hello to you. Lady Adelia for Graham Old. Saw Graham there yesterday. They won there, beating Elderbaron Vera, Illawong Lara J, and Perfidious Sue for David Murphy and Brent Murphy. Captain Treacherous. I knew it was by a pacing sire, so there's a Captain Treacherous trotter going around. There's some Blue Bloods going around, and there's also some pacing bred ones. And then just a bit touchy, took out the 3rd of the heats, beating Ebony's Avenger for Chris Angove. I've got Brad on in a minute. Constant in 3rd, right on Anne-Marie Conroy, getting that horse to qualify. And then Wish Upon a Dream for Rebecca Morrissey and Michael Bellman. So all of those horses qualified. They all got through to the final. So well done to those guys there. Alexandra. Glad that they put the bronze on for the 3-year-old trotters. Would be even better if they'd put a silver on for colts and one for the fillies. Yeah, they mix them up after that. It would be on numbers. So the 4-year-old mares would struggle. The 4-year-old colts would struggle. So I would imagine it's a similar thing there for the 3-year-olds. I can actually go back and have a look at that, Alex, in a sec. And just see. So that was last Monday from memory. Or 3-year-old trotters. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's not going to help me. I did that wrong, actually. We'll do it the other way. There's 1 3-year-old colts and geldings, two. So there's 2 heats of the, no, 3 heats of the Colts and Geldings and 3 heats of the fillies. Of course, you peanut, there's 6. How hard is that to work out? Alex is helping you. There was 3 heats for the fillies and 2 for the Colts. It actually says there was 3, Alex, for the fillies. Race 7 was a 3-year-old Colts and Geldings as well. Equity D, got feelings, you know. But there's only 9 in that one. 9 in the second heat and 9 in the third heat. So the top 4 go through, which would mean the top 4 would make the silver. So they could have had a boys silver and then a mixed bronze potentially. Let's have a look at the fillies. How many of the fillies? That's a second heat of the fillies. I've got to find the first heat of the fillies. Where was the first heat of the fillies? Must have been race 1. That's 2-year-old trotters. 2-year-old trotters. 3-year-old trotting fillies. 11 in that one. 9 in that, so that's 20. And I suppose the 3-year-old fillies out. 20, 30. So yeah, I meant 3. Oh, there's 3 heats of the fillies. Yep, big fingers. That's what I think. What Alex is trying to say there. So, so that would have been 30. So the top 4 go through. So there's 12. So at least 28. I would imagine it would be to combine them. So they probably decided, well, instead of just combining one race with a couple of Colts, they might have combined both of them all the way through. Not sure there at all though. But Brad, still, hello to you as well. So trying to promote everyone that's got trotters going around in the Vicbred finals coming up. There are horses in the bronze that didn't contest the heat, so easily enough for 2 silvers. Right, I'm ringing up Alex. Yep, I can do that way. Because I would say definitely the noms are out. So that would be the issue. I do have a phone number, so she's sitting there watching, so she'll be ready. She ignored me once before, actually. She didn't answer the phone. She was too busy with another radio station. I have got a phone number there. You should always put someone in their phone numbers as their full name. It'd be a lot easier. Hello.
Hello, Paul Campbell.
I told you I was going to ring you, so at least you knew. You got to turn me off because there's a 40-second delay. Have you worked that part out?
Yep, got you now.
That's okay. So what you're saying though is I can't get the heats up. I might be able to. You're saying that there's some horses. There's horses that
fields are out for the silver. So the silvers are on Thursday night at Kilmore, and because there were so many nominations, they put on a bronze as well, which is great. But I reckon if they'd had a silver for the Colts and a silver for the fillies, they would have had more than enough to fill that. And I just think that, you know, we all pay the same for our Vicbred. I know there are more paces, but they get semi-finals and finals and a silver and a bronze. So I think in this case they could have easily put on a silver for each. If, you know, where there's enough nominations, I think they should try that.
Yeah, and it is one of those peculiar things. I'm actually going to flick that screen over, and then I'll flick this one over here as well. But it is one of those peculiar things, as you said there, because Avant-Garde, horse for Ross Graham, having its first start, but because he paid up for it, they honour him, but you basically only get into the bottom-up races first, don't you? And that's how it works.
Yeah. So anyone that was in the heats, you know, they make the final first, and the next lot made the silver, and then there's a couple in the bronze that didn't, you know, that were in heats but didn't make it to the silver. That's fair enough. But I just reckon there's enough horses there, and you know, promoting the trotters would be great to sort of reward the people that pay up for Vicbred with, if there are enough, then we run 2 silvers.
Yeah, so they don't have bronze for the other divisions though?
No, so bronze was only, the noms were closed this morning, I think, and before acceptances there was a text out from HRV saying that they were going to create a bronze, and you know, if you didn't want to be in it, then let them know. But surely everyone who was nominated was happy to be in, something rather than nothing.
Yeah.
So they put it on, which is great. Like I think that's really good that they put on another race. But I reckon that they could predict the numbers and sort of go, well, let's run a silver and keep the colts and the fillies separate. That would be ideal.
Yeah. So because I'm just looking there, Jan Sue in the 3-year-old silver is an emergency, so it doesn't miss out. So it must have been. Oh no, there must have been a couple of others as well. So yeah.
So Saturn Stride ran it. She missed out, so she was in the heats and missed out. We missed out.
Yep.
So I think there's a couple of others that might have missed out as well on getting into the silver, which is like I'm not actually complaining that there isn't. Well, I'm not complaining that we didn't make it into the field because
No.
that was done on order. But I kind of think it would be good to, like if they want to keep promoting people to have trotters and all that sort of stuff, then, paying up for Vicbred is a thing. And where you get enough, like if you run it, then next year there'll be more nominations.
Yep. Yep. I understand exactly what you're saying there. There's not a hassle there at all. So yeah. You nearly got the chockies the other day. When was that? Last night. And you're actually going to see your video because it was won by Anna Donnelly, so she had a bit of a change of luck. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's been a work in progress, but hopefully now we've worked him out. And that was the best he's gone last night. Like he trotted smooth all the way. So fingers crossed.
Yep, he's getting there. He did look to win all the way up the straight, but that rotten James Herbertson, he just kept coming, didn't he?
No. Oh, look, you don't mind running second when you put in a great performance. And I was happy that he got around first and, like he got away from everything else. So she's a pretty good filly. So no disgrace to be beaten by her.
Yep. Jeffrey Dixon's put in there probably wasn't enough money to run extra races. The Sire Stakes, or the Super Series it's called now, but the Sire Stakes program, it's pretty much self-funded, is my belief. Is that the same for you, Alex? You believe that it's most of these races we pay up, everyone pays up, and it is one of the best schemes, if you like, self-funding schemes going predominantly in the world, because it just keeps getting stronger and stronger, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that's my understanding, and there must be more trotters paying into it now because there are more of them being bred. So that's just my contention that to continue that growth, at some point they need to kind of think about when to split them, and this would have been a good opportunity. But it is what it is. I'm happy they put the extra race on.
Nah, absolutely. How many trotters are you working, Alex?
4. One's about to go to Adelaide, so
that's okay.
So it'll be 3.
Be 3, but at least you're still working plenty of them. Don't you worry about that. If you continue to watch my show, if you're wondering what just happened to me, we have a beautiful little cat. But my brother, I said, was here earlier, and he has stirred her up, and she's got down off my desk. Thank goodness. I went to try and grab her to get her off my desk, and she just bit me on the finger. The little rat. I love her to bits, but she's a brat. But she's gone now. I'm okay. So that was Grant's fault for stirring her up. But yeah, no. All right. Thank you. Good luck Thursday night.
Thank you.
I won't be there. I won't be there. We need it every time we go around. It's, but yeah, it's no, definitely good luck and bad draw. But you got the good man on anyway, Joshy, so he'll look after you.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, he will. Thank you. Thank you for joining me.
No worries.
Alex Hurley joined me there on the phone. She was watching. She'll go back to watching. I hope. And everyone that's got trotters going around in the continue to do it. I have to pull that one out, because I actually realised something then halfway through, but that's okay. So, yeah, please, if you're involved in the show and you want to promote your horses, Bryce Dunham, if you give me a little bit more info, mate. I'm not sure what happened at the first race at Menangle, because there was no Menangle races today, so I'm presuming he's going for last Tuesday, because this is Talking Trotters. I'm just going to see if Bryce is in the ownership, but hopefully he is. and that's where he's going from. McDowell Racing, Aldebaran Yahtzees, that was. So I'm not sure. Oh, first race this Saturday. Now he's confusing me. So just give me a sec. Getting there. This is always the way. I didn't get away unscathed. I'm missing skin from my thumb. It serves you right. That's what happens to Grant when he plays with the cat and stirs it up. Going from there. So, don't have a problem, Bryce, but this is a trotting show, mate. That's a pacing race. Which horse are you talking about, though, Bryce? If you're going to turn everyone in, thoughts about race 1 there. If you've got one in it, you better let everyone know. But we do talk trotters here, not the paces. Just trying to work out, definitely off the trainers and that, I can't see anyone there at all. But yeah, it is talking trotters for What the Hill. And as I said, if you've got horses engaged in some of the big races going through, please let me know. And Bryce, good luck to you on Saturday night, mate. With your horse, whichever horse it actually is. Troy Williams, of course, is the president of the Trotters Association in New Zealand. And yeah, he's got his little mare, Little Bliss, in there, who's goes terrific. So, yeah, said there before. Well, actually, while we were talking about Alex and the likes there, good to see Anna Donnelly getting the jockeys with Dave Miles as watchman. We'll get Dave on in a minute, but Virginia Crowlers. Virginia Clowers, I think this horse is, out the outside, James Herbertson. You can see Alex Hurley's horse Lucid on the inside. Joshy Duggan getting through into the sprint lane and trotting through very, very fast, and still looks like it's going to win here, but unfortunately for them, Anna decided to come across to New Zealand and get the jockey. She had a good week, actually. She had a winner of the Sire Stakes as well just the other day, so she's had a good couple of days, Anna. And that horse went absolutely terrific last night. So very impressive. Last race, always good to stay for the last race, and that happens, but that's all right. Might do. Dave Miles is on, and we will get an update on where our Rocking With Attitude is travelling. I had him just before. What am I going to do? I'm going to do it this way because I just spoke to him just prior to going on air, but he's not there at the minute. He probably is there, David.
Good evening.
Evening, David. Thank you for joining me. You're on the way home from Melton Trials?
I am, yes, and hopefully the reception sticks with us because it's not great through here.
It's not great anywhere in Victoria. We have a lot of problems. We have bad roads and we've got pretty ordinary audio systems, but that's okay. Rocking With Attitude, mate. Firstly, congratulations. Struggling to hear me. Someone's saying my volume's a bit quiet, so what we might do, I'll give everyone the heads up. I'm about to turn it up when I can find the right mouse. I'm having a lot of trouble finding the right mouse. I'll turn my volume up a bit more and go from there. I might even give Louise, I might give you a call in a second too. But David, Rocking With Attitude, 3-year-old filly. She's won, 2 Oaks, 2 Derbies, and she now lines up on Saturday night once the barrier draws are done. But firstly, how'd she pull up after Maryborough the other day?
Yeah, very good, Paulie. Yeah, no, it was a nice hit out for her without taxing her too much. We struck the weakest seat of the 3, I think, but which was nice. And I'm actually just on my way home from the trials at Melton. She had a little blowout tonight, so all good. Was that like fitness or just? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, just fitness. She just knocked off a bit on me at Maryborough. Just didn't run through the line like I really wanted her to. So we don't do a lot of work with her at home. She gets a bit funny fast working at home, so prefer to do it away from home, and just took her there tonight, 2-2 and home in 27, which was very nice.
Very good. You could have rang me. We could have took the camera and done a mic'd up, Dave, because they work so well, don't they?
Oh, yeah, well, Paulie, when you turn the machine on or I don't knock the mic off or she doesn't try to do something silly. So, yeah, no. About 5th time lucky with her, I think it'll be.
We might have a crack one more day. You never know. I'm scared. I'm scared to even go anywhere near. I think we did 3 and they were as good as gold, and ever since it has just gone pear-shaped. So what do you do with her for the rest of the week, Dave?
No, she'll just jog now.
Okay.
Easy week now. She won't have any more fast work. So that's her chopped off. So I can't do any more. She could nearly have the next 4 days off, and it wouldn't make too much difference. So, very happy with her at home. She, last 2 and 27 tonight. So that was a nice stretch out for her. It was really good.
She's only a little filly. She contested she was just about in the first 2-year-olds last year to the last. And she's on that same trajectory again now. It doesn't seem to worry her though, Dave. Like, there's not a lot to her, but she seems to handle it okay.
Yeah, she's quite resilient. She, as I said, we don't do a lot with her at home, so that probably helps that we can keep going, keep doing it at the races and the trials, and that's where we get all our fitness from. So, no, she seems quite resilient that way, but, obviously these juveniles are a little bit better than the others. Eventually they catch up, Paulie, and I do think watching those heats at Maryborough that I don't think we're going to be as dominant as we've been for much longer.
As far as with the fillies coming through, of course, we spoke there before about She's a Wish with the Pangrazios, and she's doing a terrific job and keeps getting the job done as well, doesn't she?
Oh, she's been super. She beat Locomotive, who come out and hammered the boys again at Maryborough, so her form's stacked up. Susan, as her name, has obviously come back.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. I'm changing phones so as I can see what's going on.
That's okay. Susan, as her name, has made a mistake at her first 2 runs back, but if anybody's got the sectionals that she ran at Maryborough, I'd be amazed, because I've got her in about 155 her last mile. So that's pretty scary. Glamour Stride's taken the next step and doing a great job. So it really is great times for the trotters, especially the fillies. They're super strong.
And then you look at the 2-year-old fillies. It's the same thing coming through again, isn't it? The 2-year-old fillies are just outstanding. Some of these ones, the 2 Volstead fillies, one of Nordic Rain, and then also Nathan's filly, Violet Stride. Like, they're just amazing. They're just terrific at what the fillies seem to be able to do each year.
It seems to be not only with the trotters but the pacers. Like the 4-year-old mare's size series this year is just off the charts. So it's an amazing situation where the fillies are just a little bit more dominant, and there's more of them, which is great for the breeding industry going forward. There's some quality horses that are going to throw quality horses later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave, thank you. Jeff Dixon says here he's found an app that you can watch and get results from anywhere, any meeting anywhere in the world. I was able to watch Aldebaran Zeus on that race. So, Jeffrey, the way this works, you share the whole thing. You don't just tell us that and then not tell us the punchline. So you better give us the punchline, Dave. You'll be happy to know that, unfortunately, the sectional time website component is down by the looks. I just tried to get the sectionals up while you were talking then, and it is actually down at the minute, which is disappointing.
Well, Maryborough didn't have the GPSs in the numbers at Maryborough, so if they are done, they're hand timed.
That's even more disappointing. I've just closed it now that you've said that. I've just shut it down. I got disgusted and closed it down. So, yeah. All right, mate. Thank you. Good luck Saturday night.
Thanks, Bolly.
Thank you very much for joining me too, mate. Off-track betting, it's called, that site. So you'll have to download that and have a look.
Sounds good.
Thanks, mate.
See you, Paulie.
Dave Miles there with Rockin' With Attitude, and see how it goes. Louise Pangrazio, she's not bad. She actually said to me the other day, talking to her at Maryborough, and she said, on the phone, no worries, I'll come on any time you want. And I've said there before about the volume, and she's come back. I said I'll get her on, but she's come back with Nev's the trainer, so you can get him on. But I think it's more fun getting Louise on. We'll see if she answers. What's the worst that could happen? She'll say no, so it won't matter one bit. She had a fair bit going on the other day, Louise did, and she doesn't like the cameras much, but it won't ring. Now it'll ring. She's not always that keen on the cameras, but so we'll... I've got an issue here with me. She's not going to answer too. She's going to make out she's not going to answer anyway. Or she's not going to answer. And she might handball it to Neville. You never know.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, Louise. How are you?
I'm going well.
I wasn't sure whether you were going to answer. I was about to hang up because I thought you weren't going to do it. But thank you. Firstly, thank you and welcome.
Thanks for having me.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier over the phone. It's not as nerve-wracking, isn't it?
No, well, that's all right. I'm multitasking. I'm trying to cook tea and get all the jobs done. But yeah, and listening at the same time, obviously. So yeah, all good.
Surely Neville's helping you with the dishes.
Yeah, well, no comment there.
She's a wish. Firstly, congratulations. It was a good win.
Thank you. Yeah, she went good. Any win's a good win. We all know how hard it is to win. So, yeah, we'll take it while we can get it. And, yeah, I'm just stoked with her, and I hope that the winning form can continue.
Yeah, well, she's won the last three, and, of course, one of those was the home field, which is an enormous race as well. To win a time-honoured race, she won the Maryborough Oaks, and then, of course, the Vicbred the other day. Second in the New South Wales Oaks behind David Miles' filly Rocking With Attitude, but he said there before that he thinks your filly and a few of the others are starting to catch her. Do you get that feeling, although you haven't come up against her since New South Wales?
Yeah, well, that's true. We haven't obviously raced her since New South Wales, so I'm hopeful that our filly is still on the improve. But yeah, time will tell. Obviously, we probably aren't as dour as what Dave's filly is, so we're probably desperately seeking a better barrier draw. And yeah, anyway, we'll just have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah. What is her strength? Because I mean, she led in the home field. She sat back in the Vicbred heat. And when I spoke to Nathan, like did the interview with Nathan, and I thought she was just a little bit, but it caught Nathan a little bit unaware. She's just sort of half switches off, but that's got to be a good thing for her back in the field. Where do you ever discuss and where you think her strength is?
Well, obviously she's got a lot of high speed, and at the moment she's able to relax and sit in the field, which is good. But when you have to give the good ones, a head start, it does make it difficult. In saying that, we haven't actually had to ask her to do that yet. I know if you ever watch her on pulling up, you can't pull her up. She just keeps going. So, well, yeah, I suppose she hasn't really been put to the sword yet. And I don't want to. She's only a little thing. We've got a few little niggling health issues with the asthma and all those sorts of things. So, I just hope for a good barrier draw, and yeah, we'll just let the horse do the rest, I suppose. So she's worked well since. She's ticking all the boxes, so that's all we can do.
Yeah, and it's actually it's funny where you say that she's only little. Like, that's the one thing I don't know too many people out there, or a lot of people probably have. But Rocking With Attitude, Mickey Blackmore's watching, Brooke Hammond and Tasmanian's watching. There's no trotters over there, but we'll get them. But Rocking With Attitude, there's nothing to her either. But they seem so strong, these fillies. Even though there's not a lot of body to them, if you like, it's not like they're beating up the boys and all the others because they're these big, strong fillies. They're the complete opposite. They're just so light on their feet and get the job done.
Yeah, true that. The breed definitely has come a long way. She's a Wish's mother was this monstrous big mare. That's why we've probably was suggested to go to Wishing Stone, and it definitely has sized her down. But yeah, the breed's definitely come a long way. This filly gets over the ground extremely well for a little horse. So.
Yep, and that's the same with Rocking With Attitudes. The exact same. They just they're great to watch, aren't they? You must, as a trotting purist, you must enjoy watching them. I've just got your field back up there, and a horse like Glamour Stride, like, she's so well named because she just floats. It's just, do you enjoy watching? I suppose you probably enjoy watching a horse like Glamour Stride when it's not against your filly, but do you enjoy just watching the way the trotters have changed now?
Oh these horses, they're not wearing any gear. Like our filly's in an open bridle. She wears the basic of boots. It's completely different to the days of gone. So yeah, they just the natural ones, and the ones that can do it with ease are obviously a lot easier. Even though my husband's got no hair. A lot easier for him.
no hair jokes here. Maureen Newbury's got on there, and she says, funny how the good 3-year-olds are, they're only the good 3-year-old fillies, are only small, but the 2-year-old fillies are actually bigger. I haven't unfortunately got to see Nordic Rain in person as yet. She was there at Maryborough the other day, but I was doing a couple of other things that we'll leave alone. But Violet Stride is a good sized mare. But yeah, it is funny how it just runs in circles. I just think it's incredible how good the fillies are now. To going back 5-6 years ago, it was just always the colts, and everyone just wanted to have the colts. But the fillies are just doing an awesome job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's terrific. All right. Tomorrow you find out your barrier draw, and then I suppose the nerves start popping after that, Louise.
Yeah, I'm already pretty nervous just thinking with it about it. It's a bit of an anxious wait. But, whatever will be. And, yeah, it's at the end of the day, it is just a number, and I'm just proud as punch to be in it. So.
Yep, and that's exactly what all I'm trying to do is I want people to get in, and if you've got a horse in, get involved in it and get the message out there, because I think we undersell it. Like our horse scraped in, but he's in a Group 1, and actually we had both sides of it, because Mac Cheddar was a 7th in the other heat, and it was obviously the slower of the semis in the pacing as well, so he missed out. And people say, oh, well, at least you're in the silver. I'd rather be going around in a Group 1. I mean, there's something about Group 1 racing, and we've got to cherish it and just really embrace it, I think, don't you?
Absolutely. There's nothing better that, even you got to be in it to win it, and it's just nice to be able to be there and rub shoulders with the big trainers, and you're there and you're getting rewarded for your efforts. So, yeah, it's all good.
Well, hopefully people want to rub shoulders with you guys after the race, because you're in the winner's circle, Louise. So you have one. Has Neville trained a winner of the Vicbred Super Series? I don't want to throw him.
Yes, Moonshine Linda is a 2-year-old.
Yep, sorry. Yep. I did.
No, all good.
I definitely knew you said Bredum because of, I forgot his name all of a sudden, Brett Lilly's horse.
Guy Valley Clitchy.
He won it as a 2-year-old as well.
Yep, Nita Vicardi.
Yes.
Broke as usual. There's quite a few from the farm. So, it's got a good, we've got a good connection with the Vicbred actually. So, it's good.
Very true. All right. I will let you go. I'll get to Marie's comments in a minute as well. But she's actually Marie has said there. Try and get this one to go down. Their girl is 16 hands high, in behind and still growing. It is big. Looks a little bit like a funny car at the moment. She's growing again now. And that was the reason she galloped in a heat, not heart, but heat. That's okay. Wish we were in the final rather than the silver, and that's exactly right. I think I think it's one of those enjoyable things when you make those Group 1 finals. So, which is terrific. So, yep, very good. All right, thank you, and good luck.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me.
And don't worry, it won't be the last time I ring you. You know that. Goodbye.
Very funny. I'm bugging
actually,
now.
Louise, very quickly, the Stallion Parade yesterday, there was a couple of trotters on there. Did you enjoy the day?
Yeah, it was good. Kath puts on a great show. Take me hats off to her. She looks after everybody, and she treats us all as equals, which I think that's a really good thing. But yeah, no, it was good. I've actually got 3 past the Stevens already. They're all weanlings. And I'm still deciding what stallions we're going to use this year, because I've got 2 mares that are actually embryo transplant mares. So they're quite expensive to get in foal before we sort of start talking service fees. So I'm eagerly awaiting the Stallion directory to hit the mailbox.
There was some.
I can start penciling in a bit.
There was some copies there yesterday. It is online, but there was some copies there yesterday. I did see, but very good. I do agree. I think also the industry needs to probably embrace those days a little bit. And when I say that, probably some more of the industry participants, because not participants, more higher up. They should have been there. They should be there yesterday, because it was as good a crowd. I don't know where the races are today or whatever, but it was as good a crowd there as there will be at the next race meeting we all go to. Not being sarcastic, and the reason being because we're all harness racing lovers. It's not about the punts and the TAB turnover or anything like that. It is actually about being there and enjoying and dreaming. Because that's what you do when you look at a stallion and you say, oh, can I get a foal that looks like that?
That's right.
But yeah, it's exactly right. But I think people need to probably lower their eyes a little bit and have a bit of a good look around as to what's going on with the industry. But anyway, Louise, thank you. What is for tea?
Porcupine balls and veggies, much to probably everyone's disgust, but that'll be all right.
Porcupine, I don't even know what that is.
So they're mint steak, and I do a bit of a naughty thing. I put lots of hidden veggies in there that no one can see with rice. Basically cooked in tomato soups, and when the rice cooks within the meat, it sort of sticks out of the meat, and hence the name porcupine balls.
And that's for Neville, so that he eats his veggies. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
very good.
Got to get his strength up.
I hope you give him carrots to grow some more hair. But anyway, thanks, Louise.
No worries. See ya.
Bye. Louise Toolman there joining me. Louise Toolman generally joins me, but that was Louise Pangrazio just there. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, you can get involved as well. The French-bred fillies and mares seem to be bigger. I probably agree with that, actually, Barb, and it gets probably back a little bit to Marie Newbury's thing as well, because when you look at a lot of the harassed Trotters mares, albeit they're fine in appearance, I suppose is the best way. They are very tall, so yeah, it's just it's an unusual thing. Brent Thompson, he's got a runner going around. He'd be very happy with Sebastian's boy, how he went the other night. So good luck to you, Tomo. That's for sure. Graham Riley, Stephen Ward, Narelle Redwood as well. Jeff Dixon. The North American bloodlines are improving the breed a lot, and doing the European and along with the European influence. Yeah, I think you're right, Jeff. I think it's as much the Europeans that have changed a little bit of it, but yeah, going through. Clinton McSwain, our Volstead filly was massive. Which one was yours, Clinton? It's got two remotes, two mouse, and don't worry, it's a long story, but I dropped through the attachment the other day and didn't see it. So being a Volstead, it was a 2-year-old filly, so it had to be early. Hang on, I'll be able to find it. Oh, Volstead is massive. Sorry, I thought he said was massive. It's a yearling. I was like, damn. Now, Clinton, condolences for the other night at Bendigo as well, my friend. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of other people out there. This is a trotting show, but yeah, condolences for the other night. Unfortunately, tragic incident did happen at Bendigo. So, yeah, it can be a game of hard knocks. I read things, but that's why I talk a lot on camera, Clinton, because I don't read things that well. If I had a look down there, it would have been fine, but I'm trying to read it off a small screen. That just makes life a little bit harder, but that's okay. I do apologise for that. There's been plenty of good runs too. If you've got horses in the Vicbreds, make sure you get involved and get your message out there. There were some other very, very good runs over the weekend. One of the New Zealand ones for a few other people, Joe Pace. Hello to you. Joe Pace has got a horse in the heats, that's for sure. This was Muscle Mountain taking off just there in the green colours, actually on the bottom screen. And Artie by the Hill for Johnny Dunn out in front. You'd nearly think this was a Dominion handicap from last year with Sunday Sun and Muscle Mountain and having his massive jewel. I did write down, I did the show, a New Zealand show earlier in the day. I think they went down the back in 27.6 their last quarter, down the back. So how fast did Muscle Mountain go? He was massive just there. Going forward, so he hits the front, but this was first up from a long spell, and he just got tired on the line, and Artie by the Hill and Johnny Dunn was able to get enough out of him and kick back and beat him, but it was a stirring finish. And the trotting races are getting really, really strong, but it was one of the good races for the weekend, and that was, of course, in New Zealand. And yeah, keep an eye out for those horses. They've got plenty going on. Joe Pace, I'm just trying to find your trotter. It might have been at Bendigo, actually. It was at Bendigo. I will find it there, but don't be scared to let us know. So what I'm going to do, I'll actually go. Sundon's Courage is part of the Swan Hill Stallion tender. And at Maryborough last Tuesday, I caught up with Brad Angove for a quick chat about Sundon's Courage. And his involvement with the Swan Hill Stallion tender. I'll be back very shortly. Swan Hill Stallion tender starts Friday the 8th of September through to the 20th. 22nd. Brad Angove and Sundine's Courage, a part of it. Firstly, Brad, great club. Swan Hill, they're very forward thinking and they want to promote it a bit differently as well. So good club to get associated with.
Yeah, definitely. Anything we can do to help out the Trotters is a great idea, I reckon.
We've got to grow it and get it bigger and better. Sundine's Courage, mate, firstly, as a racehorse, he's a ripper. We've seen about 4 or 5 drivers walking past. I think everyone's had a huge thrill on him. He's one of those horses, but he's, he was racetrack record was outstanding.
Yeah, he's been a phenomenal horse to do what he's done from 2-year-old till he was racing the best in every year, and yeah, he's been a marvel.
Is he retired yet?
No, he just had an incident in the paddock and he'll have breeding season off and then probably come back into work.
Outstanding, because that's what we want, because this is one of his sons behind us. This is Courage Law.
Yeah, the idea was to try and have them both racing on the same night.
I'd like to get that. This bloke's a winner. What's he had 8 starts so far this season, and he's already got a win?
Yeah, around that. He's just been doing a few little things weird when he goes away. Otherwise, he's bomb-proof. He just does strange things once he's gone 30 metres, but he's ran some pretty quick sectionals this year. I think one of his starts he lost nearly 100. Caught him and ran second. Went 2-1 his last mile, 58 something his last half. He's got plenty of ability.
It's one of the cool things, and when I knew what you were doing, I've sort of said a few times we're going to come and have a bit of a chat. We might even do a deep dive a little bit more into Sundine's Courage, especially while he is out. But it's very European, if you like, to race them and still have the progeny going around as well. It could be really nice if this bloke could step up to Metro grade, taking on his old man.
Yeah, that could be interesting. He might be a little bit behind the 8 ball, but he's, as I said, Courage is just one of them horses, mate. He just loves his work and happy all the time, and he's got a great personality, and serving mares never ever worried him. I think last year he'd serve a mare on the Friday night, go to the races on Saturday and go real good.
What'd you say, Dad? 6 foals. His first race, eight race season, and this bloke's is he the only winner, or has it been?
So he's had and 5 have raced.
Yeah, we're only halfway through the season, and effectively with the 2-year-olds, probably 2-year-old Trotters only a third of the way through it when you think about it.
Yeah, look, I've got another 4 at home, and I had a little bit of they went a little bit sore, and I turned them out and brought them back, and I was trying to get them here today, and I was a month and a half behind the 8 ball, and I pushed, and I just thought it's not going to happen, so I just thought I'd give him 6 weeks and bring him back for later on in the year.
Right, if you want to go to Sundine's Courage, I don't do edits, but I did just do one then. He stands for, I think I saw $1,500 is what he stands for with the Swan Stallion tender. You can get him at about 70-75% of that, so it's a huge opportunity for a horse that's already left a winner out of a small crop of horses.
Yeah, that's for sure. As I said, it was his first crop, and he's got horses to the track, and I think Dad was telling me today that he's on the size list, so that's pretty awesome for his first time he's done it. And as I said, mate, with a horse that has such phenomenal speed as a young horse, I can't see how he won't leave horses that can really run, and I've been really happy with all mine so far.
Brad Angove, thank you very much. Get in touch with Swan Hill Harness Racing Club. I'll put the banners and everything up there on the wall, on the screen, so get in touch with them, and good luck, mate, and thanks for getting part of the Swan Hill Stallion tender.
No worries, thank you.
Thanks, mate. Brad Angove and the Swan Hill Stallion tender. Make sure you get behind it. Jared Maloney was on a little bit earlier, but please get behind the Swan Hill Stallion tender. Go to the Swan Hill Harness Racing Club. Follow actually, if you type that in the it'll come up straight away on that. Hopefully Joe read his text messages at the same time, because I just said then I will give Joseph a call because it looks like his filly went very, very good. I must admit I didn't see that race, but we'll just see. It was only beaten 3 metres behind a couple of very nice horses, so hopefully he answers. Joe, how are you? Obviously you know that I'm live, so that's okay. So it's always one of those nervous things, the way some people answer their phones sometimes. So yeah. Firstly, how are you?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Very, very well. Welcome back to. I don't know if you've ever been on the Talking Trotters. I've had you on Campbell's Comments before, but not necessarily the Talking Trotters.
No, I think you have with Harry Samper.
Oh, okay. Quick form check. Where is Harry? How's Harry going?
He's good. He's back in work, Paul. He's back in work. He had a bit of a viral, and he's this preparation that he had this year was sort of on and off, with colds and viruses, and it just took him a long time to shake off this virus that he had this time in. He's back hobbling, and all fingers crossed. You'll probably see him at the trials in another 2 weeks.
Very, very good. And getting ready for the end of the year.
Well, yeah, sort of Breeders' Crown, and then you can see the paddock again, and we'll start fresh in the new year, Paul.
No, okay, very good. All right, well, that's good. Jeffrey Dixon just saying there about Funky Monkey and keeps winning Robbie Morris. I tell you what, one of the most underrated drivers. You don't hear a lot of fanfare about Robbie Morris. Doesn't he win a lot of races, Joey?
He does. Very nice little pony, eh?
He does indeed. Righto, mate. Mega Spur. Looking at the results here, and I can actually, I can flick to that screen. I just have to just go to that one there, and it's a lot easier for everyone else to be able to read. Beaten 3 metres. Looks like leader behind leader and 3 the fence. Rounding the home turn. They've got home in 29.3, but you must have took a fair bit of ground off them, especially the last little bit.
She did, Paul. She's a big filly, so she can't get up and go. When you ask her, it just takes her a little bit of time to sort of find her feet and just start mustering. She's a big raw filly, Paul, and she's improving with every start. Her preparation this time in, we were just happy enough just to give a couple of runarounds, qualify and chuck it back out. But she just kept on improving and going forward in leaps and bounds. And I was actually told the owners that we'll be silly if we don't give the size a crack and just have a look and see. We don't need to sort of go around and kill her. And she took it in her stride, Paul, and she just went enormous. She savaged the line really hard, and she improved from that run. That run didn't take anything out of her. She worked really well during the week. I'm really happy going into Saturday night with her, Paul.
No, well, that is good. I've got her breeding up. So she's had the 2 starts. 5th first up and then 3rd the other day at Maryborough, and being a big filly, 3 back the fence can be a bit daunting sometimes for those horses. She's out of a Megamind mare. I love finding these little ones. How did you come to get this mare? Did you breed her? Did you buy her at the sales or?
No, Paul. Jerry, he had horses with Chris Lang. He had some 5 horses with Chris Lang, and they walked. He bring a truckload to my place and to train horses for him. 5 horses that he had in the truck, they were all trotters. I was expecting a pacer to actually walk out of the truck. He's a sister to Constantinople. He's up in New South Wales doing his racing in New South Wales, and he's won a class 2. And he's a big horse, Paul, as well, and he can scoot around too. He last 2 starts he won at Menangle going 155 mile rate, and reeling off like 27 quarters. So she's a sister to him and sister to Scooting Around.
Yep.
Going back a couple of years ago.
Scorching along, not scooting around.
Scorching along, sorry.
Yep. Don't worry, I've got it up in front of everyone else. They're all seeing it. They're all checking you. Don't you worry about that. No, look, she's got untapped ability, Paul. I'm stoked about her. I'm really happy where she's at. She's in tip-top condition, and I just can't wait for Saturday. All we're just hoping for is a draw. Right, so I'm going back through her breeding. How come did they go to Trotters with that family? Because it's obviously working, but it's a head scratcher. I can't find a trotter anywhere back here in this family's anywhere.
That's what I'm sort of a little bit dumbfounded in how on earth has she's left Trotters. But look, I think Megamind is a Megamind. He's left a couple of Trotters as well, you know. So look, I'm sort of a little bit dumbfounded, and I don't really want to guess. So at least they can trot. It just makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. It's actually pretty cool. We actually have had myself and Marie had a couple out of that family. It is a good family of a real lot of winners, but I still cannot see a trotter anywhere directly. I know there are a couple of trotters in that family. Not exactly sure which way to go with it, so I'm not going to. But yeah, there is definitely trotters in that family. I know that for a fact, Joe. But yeah, that's an unusual one. Oh, sorry, mate, I've got Artie by the Hill going over the top of you, but that's okay. Yeah. So yeah. Well, right. So you need a barrier draw. Is that an issue for you, or is it probably not a real concern for you?
Well, look, a berry draw helps in any way. It will just make it that a little bit easier for us if she draws good and Nathan Jacks and Mark Purdon draw the second row or wide. So if she can actually roll to the front and sort of dictate her own tempo, and look, she doesn't have a slow tempo. She can go to the front and mould along at a good split, and she enjoys that. And if the other two draw the bad gate, it will just make it that little bit harder for him to catch her. So yeah, Paul, look, I'm really, really stoked her going forward in Saturday night.
You got no telling Heather as well, and then you also preferred Love. So there's no easy heats. There's no easy ways. All the horses are going to be able to run. That's the exciting part about it. And I'll tell you the other thing that I do like, Joe, especially the 2-year-old trotting fillies. The last heat, Colin Holloway, Johnny Mead, Peter Manning, Brent Thompson. I said Brent Thompson had one horse. He's going to have two horses at the least in there, and even Heather Morrissey running fifth. And then I was just going back. So your race, there was Nathan Jack. Good trainer, but probably not noted as like he's not one of those high names, if you like not like the Emma Stewarts and those, but does a terrific job. Mark and Nathan Purdon, yourself, Damien Burns, Matty Gaff has run fifth, so he might be on the cusp of getting in. And then the other of the heats, Anton Galino, David Aiken, Lisa Miles, Jeff Webster. Just a great sprinkling of trainers and people involved in it. It's just awesome, isn't it?
It is, Paul. Look, and it's good. It's good for the industry to get a mixed bag of trainers going into a Group 1 race, and not always the same trainers. And you sort of do share it around a little bit, and it's good to actually get those trainers like your Matthew Gass and your Nathan Jack and myself and sort of the other trainers, and it makes it good for the industry, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's some great names like Kelvin Barker. There's a lot of people like yourself a little bit. More noted as Wayne Potter was the other one. I was just found then. More noted as training more paces, if you like, than trotters. And it's a changing of the guard, that's for sure. Alex Ashwood, he done a great job with Stevie G as well. So yeah, there is a change. It's cool to see, I reckon, the different names we see coming through. Brent Lilly, Ian Caruana, Brad Angove, David Abrams, Emma Stewart. She only had, I think she might have only had one runner for the day, but run second, and then Pete Manning and Jess Tubbs. So it's really cool. That's what trotting is cool about, isn't it?
Well, it is, Paul, and like myself, I never sort of got into trotters until probably 3 years or 4 years ago, and now I've got a team. My team's half with trotters. It's something that it's a head scratcher, And I remember old man GA saying to me one time, "You're not a trainer until you train a trotter," and I really do know what he means by that. Yeah. And they can be testing, and they can be frustrating, So now I've got six trotters in work and if you've got to look on my stats, the group races that I've won with Harry Stamper is the Derby and the Breeders' Crown, and he's a trotter. So going forward, there is a place in your stable for trotters.
Absolutely.
Trotters are growing. The trotters in Victoria, they're growing by the day. There's more races for trotters, better conditions for trotters, where if you haven't got a trotter that can stand, there's you've got a mix of mobiles and stands and stuff like that. We're probably 10 to 15 years ago. It was just standing starts for trotters. No, you've got a variety there where you got mobile and standing starts, and you can pick and choose now, yeah?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That is pretty cool that you're 2 Group 1 wins. I just found that. Both trotters, I think that's pretty nice, actually. So it's a good little stat. You'd have to be happy with that, your training thing, 180 winners. Well, no, sorry, 179. I shouldn't preempt things because that's. I rounded it off, and then I thought, oh, hang on, I better not. And 2 Group 1 wins, so that's terrific, mate. And it's good to see you're coming to the smart side, not the dark side, the smart side, and getting involved.
Yeah, the smart. Hey, Paul, that's why you always provided me hats, yeah. So.
I could show the photo. Don't worry. I sent him a text message, and the last picture I got was of 2 hats, a green one and a yellow one. The green one, of course, is a Woodlands one, and the yellow one, again, it is a Woodlands one. It is a down by the seaside. Hey, wouldn't have seen that though. Down by the seaside side, a trotting winner actually in. I think Scotia Downs on Saturday, but anyway, he definitely sired a trotting winner. So there is a trotter going around by Captain Treacherous. So they can come from everywhere. Don't worry about Megamind, mate. They can come from everywhere.
That's it, mate. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, they don't know who their father or mother is, so if they can trot, they'll trot.
No, absolutely. Darren Garrard, he doesn't mind the trotters in New South Wales. Gillian Norris is on there. Of course, the Norrises have always had trotters. Warren Cochran. Plenty of people watching too, so thank you and get involved. And if you want to promote your trotter going around in the Vicbreds this week, please feel free. Joey, thank you. Good luck.
No worries, Paul. Thank you for having me, bud.
I might be there, I may not be, but if not, good luck, mate, and I will catch up with you next week. I might have daughter duties, so there's some chance I'll be not there for the weekend. But if I am, I will come and see you beforehand. But if not, good luck, mate, on the day.
No worries, mate. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Joe Pace. There we had Joey Pace. He knows how it works. Get involved in the show, and more than happy to give people a sing out. And as I said, it is Talking Trotters. Wednesday night is on Loose Lines. Get involved in that as well. We're going to try and promote as many people as we have with horses going around. High Energy was a very, very nice win on Saturday night for Brecon Farms. I actually have the Brecon Farms shirt on underneath, they're having a bit of fun over here at the minute, the Purdens and that, going along nicely, this little horse, and has a little bit of a future, I would imagine, going forward there. But and then there was a bit of a Ashley Haynes. Hello to you, Ash, and good luck on Saturday night, of course, with RC Phoenix. Spoke to Chris the other day, so good luck to you, mate, and hopefully you get a good run. This is 1 overall in front, and Visionary for Harasta Trotters, Nathan Jack underneath, and good little battle up the straight. Visionary was terrific, returning here, and almost got through, going through there now, and did get the chockies that way. Natalie, I'll get to yours in a second, but this race, there was a protest. It's interesting, Nathan's long look there. I'm not sure. I wonder whether he had the long look. I'm not sure how long I let this one play for, but to see exactly where he ended up before, he might have been just looking where he's finished up on the track to make sure, I suppose, that he didn't run down. But this is the head-on. So anyone that didn't actually see it, of course, 1 overall. Greg Sugars is in front, just there, just one little duck, and it was only there. And that's what I wonder, whether he was just looking to see where his marks went inside or outside of the pegs. I'm not sure. So, anyway. Now, Natalie's brought up an interesting why run the silver finals 2 days before the Vicbred finals? If you're in the silver final and happen to get a run in the final as an emergency, you have to run your baby trotters 2 days later. Consolations should be run during the week after the finals, so if the emergency gets a run in the final, they can run instead of the silver. 100% agree with that one, Nat. I would imagine that I actually was going through those and counting them up, and I suspect that Third Eye is one of those, and I would imagine must be potentially the emergency. Yeah, so Third Eye is there. So there's Great Horizon and Third Eye, and then Link in Bio, all running fifth. So I would imagine one of those horses is going to be it doesn't seem to make sense to me. I know they always had to do it beforehand because of course the Vicbreds were run on New Year's Eve, and because that was the end of the season after 12 o'clock, so they had to be run beforehand. So I don't know, Nat, whether they've stuck to the same formula and no one's actually thought, well, they could race them the week later or the week after. But yeah, it'd be disappointing if there's you could actually have 2 or 3 so that then betting turnover, here we go, raise its ugly head, but you could have first, second, third emergency so people know exactly where they are in those bigger races, and we could have 12 horse fields going around, and just all we have to do is have this Kilmore meeting or any other meeting with the Silvers the day after. And it's actually the same in the Pacers because they're at Bendigo on Friday night. And yeah, if you're in an emergency, what do you do? And we need full fields. We need good betting turnover. We need as many horses going in as we can. So yeah, going from there. Robert's watching on YouTube, and good to see you there. Prodes. It's tough to say. It was just the slightest little bit of movement there, Robert. If you just watch here, I've got it back on, and I think their Visionary's moving up. They're both moving up, and then bang, just there, and the margin was so small. So that was all it was. Dean Chappell, hello to you, Dean. Not many trotters trained down where Dean is, but yeah. So no, tend to agree with Nat, and I'll actually make sure I get that right open so that people can see. It does. That is a bit of a head scratcher. Nat, I'm not exactly sure why that one's happened there. Also, just realised that possibly should come up a little bit, and this button here, if I hang up the feed, there we are, that'll get all of the comments in. Sorry about that, just cutting off the last little bit, didn't realise that was happening, so get that in there as well. So yeah, anyway, it is an interesting one. Good luck, Natalie, with Third Eye on Thursday night. Maybe good luck if you get a run in the final. Of course, interestingly bred by Volstead out of the Better's Delight mare of Pat Driscoll's. Just trying to think of the horse's name. I'll cheat and get it up. Roxy Maguire, of course. So, yep. So, good luck on the weekend. And Matty actually had a winner during the week, and I think I saw it. It might be in the bronze, actually. No, I've seen it somewhere in the noms. Hold That Tiger was a horse, and I reckon it's racing somewhere. But Hold That Gold. No, it wasn't Hold That Gold. Okay, Hold That Gold is racing in the silver, but Matty did have a winner the other day. Just not sure which one it is, but I thought it was that horse, but definitely not. So anyway, we'll get to that when I go through all the results. Going forward, that vision's clear. So I've done all of my videos. Bella Lucy, thank you. Sorry, I thought it was Hold That Gold, but thank you and well done for getting me out of that. I get myself into trouble. Clinton McSwain was saying, don't read everything. I don't have to read everything to get myself into trouble. It's quite easy to do. That's for sure. Interesting one on that protest too. There was actually 2 other protests on the day going forward. Elder Baron Zeus, of course, got the chockies. I was fortunate enough, I rang Duncan McPherson the other day, so I've got a quick interview with Duncan McPherson. Then I'll be back. We'll go through all of the results. But if you've got horses involved in the Vicbred in any way and you want to get the message out there, promote what you've got, please get involved with the show. It is Talking Trotters for What the Hill, but it is for anyone. I'm going to throw to Duncan's interview, and I'll be back very, very shortly to go through all the winners for the week with the Trotters and highlight some of those. But also, if you've got horses in the Vicbred, please reach out and we'll give them a promotion. Talking Trotters now, we're catching up with Duncan McPherson. Firstly, Duncan, welcome back, mate, and congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much, Paul. Not quite back, but in LA, in transit, and flying in different directions to Chris Elford and Brent Lee, who are also flying home today. So we'll all be back in Melbourne tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning.
I was actually saying welcome back to Campbell's comments, but that's okay. You can be you're in LA halfway through. Congratulations! What a thrill.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. No, it was absolutely fantastic. The build-up during the week was sensational, and Brent's done a fantastic. Brent and Nifty and Brad Chisholm and the team at the farm there down in New Jersey did a wonderful job getting him ready for the race, and then obviously Chris Elford getting over there with a week to go and familiarising himself with the track. They walked the track. They went to the detention barns and did all the reconnaissance and drove on the track. Chris had to drive on the track. So everything we could do to make sure that we were ready to go compared to most of the others who only arrived from Europe on the Wednesday. We were looking for any little advantage we could get after drawing barrier 7.
Yeah, the barrier really cruelled you, didn't it? It just took a lot of his strengths, I suppose, away, his natural gate speed, and that took that away from being able to use it.
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping for an inside draw and getting in on the peg line, and I mean to do what Chris Elford did was from 7 and have him on the pegs within 400. You could see when the gap opened, Chris dived down for the fence hard and then managed to push up and kick up as required to ensure that we stayed 3 fence. They drive pretty bullish up there, and a lesser person probably would have let one in, but no, Chris, to his credit, pushed up hard, and Zeus was tractable and did what he needed to do. So I guess that's one of the beauties of the horse. He's pretty well balanced in the 800-metre track and the speed out of the gate. And I think they ran the first quarter in 28.3 and the first mile was in 55. So, I think if you start adding it all up, and they went 2:23 and 1, and which was 2.5 seconds quicker than the open trot, which was a couple of races before it, and only 1.4 seconds and 1.5 seconds slower than the open pace. So it's hell for leather, and we were just absolutely delighted with his run, and the commentary that's come around it has been very encouraging.
What about just quickly on that, Dunk? Were those other races over the 2,000 as well?
Some of the other trot, there's a $250,000 open trot. It was over the 2,000, and the pace was over the 2,000. All the other Kentucky-sized state races were over the mile.
Right. That's cool. It's interesting, isn't it? Like we've been told to gear ourselves more for mile racing, yet when it suits the Americans, they're quite happy to go to the 2,000.
Yeah, on the 800-metre tracks, on the smaller tracks, they'll go 16.09 or 16.10 and 2,000, but Meadowlands and the bigger 1 mile tracks, they just race the pure miles and down in Lexington. So all depends on where you are and what the track is.
We'll just stay on to that. Afterwards, I saw the elation on you guys with the social media posts, and I must say well done for everything you've put out there as well, because people then get to buy in, and I'll be brutally honest, I didn't watch a race live. I had a pretty late night the night before. You wake up and turn your Facebook on, and that's what you need to do. That's the way of the world we live in now. Those images have to go up straight away. So I knew almost straight away when I woke up where you finished. So I think well done for that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's important to engage and I'll let the boys know at Harness Racing Victoria. We had a Zeus on tour WhatsApp group, and anything that I could post was shared as quickly as we could. So, and credit to everybody that was accessible to do those interviews. So it was great.
What about around the people straight afterwards, Dunk? What was the feedback like from them? The other international people as well.
Yeah, look, I mean, Klaus Kosch, who was the head of the committee that was inviting all the horses, was absolutely delighted with our performance, but the whole race, he thought it was the best. That's why it's called the World Championship. He thought it was the best field that had been assembled from that calibre of trotter ever. Anders Melmotte, who's well known to the Just Believe team, and Greg and Amy Tubbs. Anders was over there. He flew in. He was pretty quick to come up and congratulate us on the performance of Zeus, as were all the team from the Standardbred Owners Association, but also, more importantly, the team from Yonkers. So, we've definitely, again, made heads turn and let the world realise that we're up. We're not that far off them, and in fact, we're actually in amongst them now. So I don't think we say we're far off them now, so that we're globally competitive, and there's a lot of excitement and a lot more interest in Southern Hemispherical trotting. And when I keep telling them there's 4 or 5 more down there, that are possibly internationally competitive, they're starting to really understand where we're coming from. It was great.
I think it's scary when you talk about just Brett Lilly. Like, there's a little filly called Queen Elida. It is so super exciting what is down here in Australia right now.
Well, the beauty about Queen Elida and others is that they are looking them up. We walked around the barn. We've got a guy from Holland came up. He was there from Dutch media. He was interested in Zoya Boko because that was from John Bootsman's farm. 10 years ago, he did a story on Yield Boko after he won all the derbies, and Zoya Boko, the mare of Zeus, is a full sister to a triple derby winner. So genetically, we're right on it, and there's just so much interest. And when you've got people videoing you and talking about the Australian horse, it's just mind blowing. And there wasn't a lot before it, but I think there was a lot more after it. And when you look at Zeus's own performance, he's gone. They're running 55. It's the 3rd quickest he'd ever run in his life. There was all the quarters. I think they came home in 28 and change, and the speed was on from the start. And he apart from, as Chris Elford said in one of the interviews, he pushed up the track a little bit and was probably getting a wee bit tired. But then, so were a lot of others, and who we beat home is important, just as important. Edna galloped on the corner, didn't like the 800-metre track. Hero Boko was the fastest miler in Europe this year. We beat him home, and the Danish horse. So, and then you look at Vivid Wise. These are horses that have been in elite lops and all this sort of stuff. So you've got to understand that this is the best in the world. That's why they flew them all in there, and that's why they assembled the field. And the American horse was second in the Maple Leaf $600,000 race the week before. So you've got to pinch yourself and realise that we're right on the money. And credit to all the breeders and all the horsemen down in Australia. We're finally getting there.
What's on the radar now for Zeus? Obviously, he's staying there for a while. What's the immediate plans with him, Doc?
Week on the grass for starters, because we've got to put when he travelled up, he did lose a fair bit of condition, and he's put most of it back on. We want to give him the opportunity to put a little bit more back there, particularly after the weather up here was 35, 36 degrees for the last week. And it was very humid, so we had fans everywhere the horses went. People had 3-foot fans blowing cool air and sprays on them, so it was pretty oppressive. So the run took a bit out of all the horses, to be fair. So a week off on the grass, and we've written to Bluegrass Staking, which is the staking group up here, to see what other races he may be eligible for up until the end of the year. But the immediate plans are we'll keep him up there for a while. We'd love to, Brent and I and the team would love to get him to post a really quick time at Meadowlands if we live to dream. And obviously the objective is to win a couple of races, or one race at least up here, and get a good time for his stud career. And then obviously, once we've achieved what we want to achieve up here, then we'll look at bringing him home. But there's no point bringing him up all the way and putting him straight on a plane. I think we give the horse the opportunity to compete in the open class ranks. And when you look at the open class ranks that are going to be left here, a lot of the horses that were here, they're all going back to Europe. They all flew out today. So, you're in pretty rare air when you've got a chance at doing what you want to do. And they race, open class trots up here, $30,000 and $50,000 trots week in, week out, let alone the $250,000 and $300,000 races that were Sciota Downs even last night. So there's opportunities, and we're silly not to take it, at least for the next 4 to 6 to 8 weeks, and then we'll work out backwards as to how we want to get him home.
Great Southern Star race. It's very special to you, very special to any person with the Trotters. Is that on the radar for him, or does this trip now put that off for him?
It all comes down to timing and when we can put him back on a plane. So we don't say no to anything, but ultimately the first target and first objective is to give him a week on the grass. Then Nifty will get him back up and going, and plot a little plan for the next 6-8 weeks, I suppose. And and from a stallion perspective, if he can win, he's won in New Zealand, he's won in Australia. It'd be just wonderful on his CV to pick up a time and a win up in the USA. So that's the short-term plan, and we'll figure it out from there.
No European trip?
Oh, well, we never say no to anything, but but it's interesting you say that it's not on the radar immediately. And to be fair, but having said that, the talk in the barn after the race was all those horses. Most of those horses that were in that race, their next objective is the Prix de Marie at the end of January. That's a different kettle of fish and a different race for Zeus. Zeus is a better short course mile rather than over the long grueling trip at the Prix de Marie. But then that's the conversation that's had when you get in that rare air. And Greg Sugars and I'm sure Amy Tubbs would have been listening to all that conversation as well, and it just gives you goosebumps when you think that's what everyone's talking about. So, no, I think first objective is make sure he's right after this, and give him a wee break and let him have a shot at the big time up in the US and see if we can pick one up.
I've done some stuff with Anton Galino. That's a rare glint in his eye when you talk about the Prix d'Amérique. I can never say the word. It doesn't matter how many times. Prix d'Amérique. He just loves that race. It's a race that he loves. He said you only have to watch one. He told me you only have to watch one and you just love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been there a couple of times, fortunately, and watched the race, and you've just got to have the right horse. And it's horses for courses, pardon the pun. And I don't think that type of race is in Zeus's sweet spot, but it may be in a couple of the others who have different capabilities. So
2,600 metres.
But anyway, no, it's very exciting. Yeah, 2,600. So, and again, they just keep going, and they just keep piling it on. So it's just a different sort of racing than what we're used to at home. There's no backing off up here, and it's guns down and away they go.
No.
But no, look, a great experience, and for Chris to have, Chris's dream was to go to the Meadowlands. He had 4 drives there last night, and we were up all up again early this morning to get going. But we just achieved so much, and I'm sure that Brent picked up a lot of information, a lot of snippets, if you like, to help him in his training ranks back in Australia when he gets home, and that's part of what the trip's about, a bit of fact finding and a bit of soul searching at the same time.
And a bit of travel experience, I would imagine, too, because we mentioned that other mare. He's got some nice 2-year-olds coming through as well, so you never know what might be on the radar in the next few years. Not just New Zealand, but it can be done now, Dunk.
Oh, I think that we can live to dream, and that's why I said earlier 4 or 5 horses in the Southern Hemisphere, in my opinion, are more than capable, and they all know, and trust me, they know who they are. They're now watching what we're doing, and I keep saying credit where credit's due, and there's more coming through. So no, it's very exciting, and I think that the benefactors of the trailblazing that we've done, you go back to Chris Lang, the Sundown Skiff, that started it, and then Maori Time, and then all of a sudden the impetus and the quality of the breeding that we've got is accelerated. So yeah, we're not feared. We are feared. We're not fearful of going there anymore. They realise that when we send one up, we send them up for the right reasons.
And probably the double downing of it, like with Just Believe, and now Aldebaran Zeus. And even though Aldebaran Zeus, New Zealand probably doubled down on it anyway, going backwards that way, it just gives it, that little bit more now, doesn't it? I think if we can get another 1 or 2 horses potentially travelling the same next year, it's super exciting what could happen.
Yeah, and I think the impetus is there. I mean, I've had no doubt that Anders Mulmut, that to have an Australian horse in either the elite lot or the international creates the race and the series for them. That's what they want. And they don't want one, they'll be looking for 2. So they're more than happy to look at a couple of horses now, realising that there's just not one that can do it. So, as I say, the benefactors are going to be those that follow, and I am no doubt that there'll be an invite to an Australian horse for the elite lot next year. Who that horse is going to come down to the performance in the next 3 or 4 months, 5 months. But I think it's exciting, and I think there's a spot there. We've just got to make sure that we can, have the confidence to realise it and go after that spot as a group of horsemen.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see Aldebaran Campbell win while you're away. I mean, you would have liked him to have won while you were here, but it was good to see that he got the chockies while you're away too, mate. So the Campbells are coming.
Yeah, and I mean, and genetically, he's got a long way to go, but he's out of a Cantab Hall mare, Elderbarron Turnpike, who we bought at Lexington out of Muscle Hill. So, again, genetic breeding that 10, 15 years ago wasn't possible in Australia, then that's what we've now got available to us. So, and it's not only just our farm, there's other people that are doing the same thing, and I'm sure that, as I say, the benefactors are going to be everyone else in the industry when we can do what we've been doing. And there's interest to buy, not only interest in racing horses, there's interest, obviously, stimulated interest to buy horses out of Australia, buy trotters. We've been sending a lot of paces up. I'm sure that there's some trotting purchases that may be made by people realising that we've got good open class horses. And then, obviously, then the stud masters. I mean, the people from Southwind Farm came and saw me and a couple of other farms. So they're very keen to continue to support and send quality semen down for us to breed with down in Australia and New Zealand.
No, super exciting. Dunk, thanks for joining me. Thanks for finding some good Wi-Fi too, mate.
Absolute pleasure. And as we say, we're hot to trot at Elderbarron Park, and we look forward to getting home and look forward with great anticipation to the big Vicbred Series of Vicbred finals this Saturday night. So I wish everybody the best of luck in those very important finals as stepping stones for the future champions of our industry. So look forward to seeing everybody out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, Elderbarron Park have got Dancing in the Dark M and Sky Valley, both in the Swan Hill Stallion tender. Might be in a couple of the others as well, but they're also standing at Elderbarron Park. So make sure you look those guys up, but getting part of that. Dunk, thanks very much, mate. You and I could talk all night, you know that.
No, appreciate it, and it'll be great to get home. But thanks to the team, thanks to the Lily stable, the Alfords and Mel and Danny at the farm, and IRT and all the sponsors I continue to thank for helping us get Elderbarron Zeus up there. And I'm sure that the next 6 or 8 weeks will be very exciting times, and we all should keep watching as we go forward. So thanks for the opportunity, Paul. Look forward to catching up with you.
Thanks, mate. Catch up. We have Duncan McPherson in an airport in LA. He was actually. Just took the time to give me a call. He will be back over here somewhere, but yeah, putting us Australian harness racing on the map, definitely, Robert. It's actually really cool what is happening when you think about what's his name? His name's Just Believe. What he was able to do, I do believe Queen Leader, they're eyeing their chances anyway, getting an elite lot. And there's a couple other horses. And then we have horses like Muscle Mountain. Going forward, so he's coming over here for the Great Southern Star. We need to send a couple of other horses back over there for him. Artie by the Hill, you never know, he might come out. I know they never bought Sunday's Sun simply because he wore 2 lug and poles, so he couldn't do that here in Australia. But yeah, super exciting the way the trotter is progressing. And then, as I said, this show is brought to you by Talking Trotters for What the Hill. $1.3 million overseas. I did actually have a file, haven't got a good video or photo of him. We actually had a colt last Wednesday by What the Hill, so yeah, super excited about him. Lovely little horse, Munro. We'll get a photo or two going forward. It's a bit of a wrap for the trotters, but please, as I said, even while we're doing the run through of these the results, if you want to bring up anything about your Vicbred ones, go ahead and bring it up. There's no problems there for me. I definitely need to get my grey remote back because it would make life a lot easier for those flicks and switches. They get a bit messy. You guys on YouTube, of course, are ahead. So we go through anyone that's new to the show, we go through the results of all the trotters and highlight where they are. Just before I do get too far ahead of myself there, but as I said, if you want to get involved and message about any of your upcoming things, please. That's the way the show works. Get involved. You saw that. Just having trouble reloading my Facebook page on my phones. You did see there before about I can't even remember what I was actually talking about. I'll put a text out, sorry, for the carousel with the trotting carousel. 3 heats of that tomorrow, actually. that won't do that. No, didn't think it would. Let's go this way. Quick Leap Fields. It's great to see Clubman Angle getting behind them. And yeah, so there's 3 heats of the Trot Carousel. Dream Big, Aim High, of course, by What the Hill. He was his first group winner, actually, as a sire. So going through, Toro Stride is by Love You, beautifully bred. Then we have the Bumper Gump Pest Control Trotters Free for All, Trotting Carousel, sorry, heat number 2. Don't touch the Juco going around there for one of the Victorian horses, but another 8 horses. And then the third of those heats there, Constantinople, a horse that Joe Pace mentioned just there before, closely related to his filly there. I think they're half sisters going around. It's one of the last 2 for Luke McCarthy, so which is really, really cool. Lisa Miles, hello to you, Lisa. Lisa's got a runner in the sire stakes as well for the 2-year-old fillies, Vicbred Super Series. Not allowed to say sire stakes, and I've done such a good job not to say it. I'm going to be in trouble because I can't remember Lisa's horse's name, but I know it was in race 1, and it ran 3rd, Flying Time, of course, by Aldebaran Eagle there. So good luck to Lisa and everyone that's involved with that. Actually, I think Alfie's the owner, so good luck to you, Alfie. Rightio. Where are we going? We're going Albion Park. Now they have a 2-year-old. I've got to have a talk. He was on there earlier, Brad Steele. But anyway, all right, it's a cool little result. Matt Crone, 1-2. So congratulations to you. Actually, Lisa Miles is on, and she used to train Tam O'Shanta, who ran 2nd behind Indefensible. Of course, DJ Crone, I think, is actually Daryl Crone, is the owner of Indefensible. He, of course, used to train it. And he has Prince of Rock going around in the big race on Saturday night. It will be. Unfortunately, the times aren't done yet, but and Indispensable. And then the Centurion ATM standing at Trump Bloodstock Trotting Handicap, not as promised by Betting Line. We find a lot of these, don't we, when we do this show? A lot of pacing bred trotters beating the Reaper, and phenomenal. Darren McCall gets well and truly involved in the show with me going forward. So well done, Darren. He's only a 3rd, but good luck to you anyway. Menangle. There was only the 2 trots. There's 3 this week, but that's okay. Alderman Yahtzee by Sebastian K, beating Lippes, and Dream Big, Aim High by What the Hill run 3rd. What the Hill had one of those weeks actually where a lot of the horses he was training and a lot of the horses he bred were running placings. There's Constantinople out of El Scorcher, as I said, running 3rd there, winning there, beating Tiger T and Flash Kai Valley. That was at Menangle. Geelong only had the 1 trot. We're pretty light on because Bendigo, and we've gone through Bendigo already, although I'll probably quickly flick through it. And then there was none on Saturday night. Get Up Early by Yankee Spider out of Packed Up Early. An 8-year-old Toby Ainsworth and Adam Massa getting the chockies. Actually, congratulations, Toby. You Cornellaed that as well, so well done there, with Designs running 2nd for James Herbertson. And he's a gunslinger for Emmett Bronson, coming 3rd, sorry. So he Cornellaed it. Geez, how good am I going? I said he Cornellaed it, but then mixed it up anyway. And then Jakarta by Andover Hall out of Jacinta Franco, bred by Spirit and Lodge. Keeps going on its winning ways. Unfortunately, it beat us. How many is that? Oh no, it got beat in the middle. That's right, it did too. So it won 2 of its last 3. Beaten Sinsky, and it's Trixton Time for Sonia Smith and Anthony Butt. So that was Geelong for the Trotters. Gloucester Park did actually, yeah, that right there. They had a trot with our Maestros, Maestros. Pretty sure that horse used to race here. I can't get it out anyway. Lover Flair and Patched coming in, running in the top 3, but only a small field. Trotters are sort of getting a bit thinner over there, so we need to make sure we can do something about that. But that was a wrap for Tuesday. Wednesday at Hamilton, there was 1 trot, and Echuca, there was 1 trot. The Trotters handicap at Hamilton was won by Andover's Son for Ben Yole, Taylor Yole. Taylor's doing a good job. She actually got a treble on the day. All What Fun Jingles for Karen Manning, Darren Cole, and Kai Valley Surf Rider for Katrina Fitzpatrick and Michael Bellman filled the top 3, and then we went to Echuca, and again there was only the one, the King of the North, standing at Lower Long Farms, was won by Val Duran, by Love You, at a Chew the Fat, Lisa Pitt and Mark Pitt beating Raining Lilies, and Christmas Babe as well. So please, if you're watching, you want to get involved, don't be scared to give a shout out to the horses you got going around in the Vicbreds. That's what we're here for. Right, always ready at Harassed Trotters Vicbred. Nellie Melba, you've jumped off the YouTube feed and onto the Facebook feed. I've noticed that. Aroa Coe, Royal Dan, and Sir Eros. I will go quickly through these ones because I have touched on these already once through the show. RC Phoenix, Ashley Haynes was on there a little bit earlier. Kiang Chucky and Sebastian's Boy for Brent Thompson. Filled in the top 3 there. Queen of Quebec, Chris Finozio was 3 on the end at that stage by Used to Me. It is the Used to Me at Harassed Trotters Vicbred Super Series, beating Gardena, Ronda, and Revelstoke. Top 3. Lady Adelia, Chris Finozio made it 4 on the bounce, beating Aldebaran Vera and Illawong Lara G. And then the last of the Used to Me at Harassed Trotters Vicbred Super Series was won by Just a Bit Touchy, beating Ebony's Adventure and Constance. For Anne-Marie Conroy. Then, oh no, it wasn't that race. Bella Lucy, sorry. It was Bella Lucy. So Maddie Gaff 2 races after, beating Antonov, and Everybody Loves Me getting the chocolates there at Bendigo. And I think, oh no, there was one other trot. I was going to say, I thought that was it. So they had 5, 6, 7 trots for the night. The Chook by Lifesign, another pacing bred trotter. Beating about My Classical Bell for Taylor Fellows and Ellen Tormey. Congratulations, beating My High Peak, and Tension Seeker for Scott Tawney. So that was Bendigo on the Thursday. Don't think my friends in New South Wales, Queensland, had a trot. Nope. No trots for those on the day. Penrith are going to start. You can see here, anyone watching and knows how this works. I actually didn't have a look to see, and unfortunately Penrith didn't. They are trying to get some trots off the ground. They did get the carousel going. Rightio, Melton, very thin night here for thin here. We'll actually quickly look at Albion Park. I did look, but no, there's no trots there. So the trots were at Melton. We've already highlighted both of those, but of course Visionary beating 1 overall, and Mufasa Metro was a good little run. And then High Energy beating Central Otago, and Kiang Ignite filling in the top 3 spots for Mark Purden. Saturday night at Melton there was 0 because of the Vicbred Super Series for the Pacers. So we go to Globe Derby for a start. We'll go to Globe Derby for a start with the Dancing Dark M, Aldebaran Park Trotters with Cyclone S. Adams, another Wishing Stone Emmy. Wishing Stones, as we said lately, they've been winning Millie's Magic and Lord Chancellor. King of the North at Lower Long Farms, Trotters Handicap, Winsome Ruby by Bacardi Lindy, who used to stand there at Lower Long Farm, beat Pies riding Shotgun, and Willis Graham. That went back one too many, sorry, because there was definitely one other trot. Sundon's Courage at Truscott Lodge, Trotters Mobile was won by Muscle Hill, brings up her first win over there by Muscle Mass out of Bryland Crescent. Beating Hi Ho Co Valley, and 10 Little Fonzies running in 3rd there. So that's a wrap for Globe Derby. Now, I think there was one. Yep. Majestic Lavros got the chockies in Queensland. The propulsion standing at Trump Bloodstock Trotters Mobile, beating Zealous Spur Funny Face for Jack Butler. Jack always chimes in, so if you are listening and watching, Jack, hello to you. So that was Albion Park. There was one at Menangle with Funky Monkey getting the chockies. Robbie Morris, as I said, just flying, beating Sunny G. Elizabeth Heath Quinella there as well. We've had a few of those, haven't we? And Royal Glenfern, very quickly getting through them. Sunday, there was only the one trot meeting, and that was at Kilmore. There was a couple of trots. Of course, we highlighted the last one. But M. Whalen for Courtney Slater and the Country Music Festival, Country Music People, beating Ewing, and Mandakai Valley for Brent Lilly and James Herbertson. Hopefully this doesn't go back. It didn't. I don't know why it went so far back before. Virginia Clovers, being by Creatine for Arna Donnelly and James Herbertson again. Lucid running 2nd. I thought it was the last race. Sorry about that, Alex. You weren't that late at night. And Soliski. And Zarem for Carla Innes and Alan Tormey getting the chocolates over Watch and Act and Baxter. That was on the Sunday. And then we very quickly, Majestic Lavros was impressive. He Saturday night at Albion Park, first up since crossing the Tasman. Right, he gets me going backwards, but that doesn't worry me too much. I missed that because that horse, there he is there. And there, Mark Gurry's the owner, so Mark must have purchased this horse. Kimberly Butt, Robbie Close, so Mark Jones. So horse had 48 starts before the other night for 9 wins, and he comes across and wins his first race, and probably won't be his last, I would say, the way Darren's talking there, which is good. Another injection. Interesting how many Kiwi NZs you get when you look at Albion Park, and I don't mind it. I think it's great. If it makes up the numbers, it makes it up the numbers. Globe Derby today. The National Breast Cancer Foundation Trotters Handicap was won by the Clipper for Trevor Kittle. Jason Kittle driving, beating Greywood's Diamonds and Willie's Graham. Running third, Elderbaron Dexter by Elderbaron Eagle out of Elderbaron Deegan. Beating Wishing Zone and the Best Official. And that must have been it. So there was only the 2 trots there. And go back here to Warrigal, where there was only the 1 trot. Today, the Ken Murphy Memorial 2023 Trotters Handicap was Diamio for Marie Caldo and Johnny Caldo by Majestic Sun out of Frozen Funds. The girls got Flair for Jeremy Quinlan. Jeremy's in Shepparton. That's a long drive for Jeremy today. And Our Safari's Son. So well done to Jeremy for making the long trip. That's a race. That's a wrap of the results. As I said, keep an eye out though. There's some really nice racing coming up in the next week. Of course, with the Vicbred finals on this weekend, Thursday night with the Silvers. So they're already there. Plus plenty of other racing going forward as well. So get involved. Love the trotter. Thanks very much for What the Hill for providing me with this sponsorship. Guys at Woodlands as well, so make sure you go and visit. Go and check them out. What the Hill, standing for $7,000 or 7.7 here in Australia. 12 wins, $1.3 million in stakes, and get behind him as well. And as I said, we've got a colt out the back. We'll make sure we get some pictures of him for next week's show. Thank you to everyone that's got involved. Beck Morrissey, you're a bit late to the party, but hello to you, Becky, and might get you on one day as well. We might have a girls' night. We might get a few of the girls on. Lisa Miles. We had Louise Toolman on. No, we had Louise Pangrazio. Got to stop saying that, but that's okay. It is an honest mistake. Thank you to everyone that has tuned into the show. I'll be back next Monday night talking trotters. We'll have a full wrap of the Super Series for the Vicbreds, for the Trotting Gate. Plus, who knows what else will happen. There's some nice races. I will say, keep an eye out in New Zealand. Some really nice races. A couple of nice 2-year-old trotters coming up. And some nice mares races coming up very soon as well. So thank you to everyone that's tuned in and has enjoyed the show. Really appreciate your feedback and people getting involved. And I will be back next Monday night from 7 o'clock live talking trotters for what.
Side, yes, Mickey, with less than a 16th to go. What the Hill, a short lead. Lindy the Great to the inside. Yes, Mickey, coming to the wire. It's What the Hill and David Miller winning the
pocket sitter turned first over attacker What the Hill, and behind them Dover Dan from in third. International Money still got work to do. They're in deep stretch, and here comes What the Hill and Miller on the outside. What the Hill converting off the pocket trip to win the Canadian Trotting Classic. He won it by 3 going away. It's What the Hill.
Third, 3/4, 124 and 2 into the stretch. Looks like Chippendale appears to be on the verge. Crazy Wild trying to fend him off. Room at the rail for What the Hill. He's raging late. And in heavy traffic is Pinkman on the far outside. Dayson trying to close in. But off the rail comes What the Hill, the 3-year-old. What the Hill to seal his division. What the Hill, then Dayson.